Solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Clear Creek Independent School District Board of Trustees of the state of Texas and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Larson and Mr.
Thank you.
Mr. Cunningham. We look forward to your continued service. Next item on the agenda is election of board officers. Per policy BDAA, the board elects officers at the first meeting after each election and qualification of board members. Board officers normally serve a term of 1 year or until a successor is elected. Officers are limited to 2 consecutive terms in any one position. So we will be electing officer position of president, vice president, and secretary, and we'll do each of these individually in that order. And so I will open up for nominations or now in order for the office of president.
Mr. President, I nominate you, Arturo Sanchez, for a second term as president.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. Are there any further nominations for the office of president? Seeing none, nominations are closed. Arturo I have been nominated. I'll speak
In the third person.
I, Arturo Sanchez, have been nominated for president. All those in favor for Arturo as president, if you'll please raise your hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Now for vice president, nominations are in order for the office of vice president.
Mr. President,
Ms. Cheka?
I'd like to nominate Jonathan Cottrell for Vice President.
Thank you. Ms. Cheka? Are there any further nominations for vice president? Seeing none, nominations are closed. Jonathan Cottrell has been nominated for vice president. All those in favor of Jonathan for vice president, if you'll please raise your hand.
Am I allowed to vote?
You can vote for yourself. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. And last is our secretary. So nominations are in order for the office of secretary.
Mr. President,
Mr. Cottrell?
I'd like to make a motion for Jay Cunningham for secretary.
Thank you. Jay Cunningham has been nominated for the office of secretary. Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed. Jay Cunningham has been nominated for secretary. All those in favor of Jay Cunningham for secretary, please raise your hand. It passes unanimous. Thank you to the board, and thank you to Mr. Cottrell and Mr. Cunningham for continuing in your positions. And our next item on the agenda is closed session. The purpose of community input, I'm sorry, not the purpose of community input. At 6:08, the board will now move to closed session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.001 concerning purposes permitted by the act, including 551.071 consultation with attorney, 551.072 deliberation regarding real property, and 551.074 deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignments, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public employee, or to hear a complaint or charge against an employee. I'll call us back into open session. And the first item on our agenda is to administer the oath of office.
Do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Clear Creek Independent School District Board of Trustees of the state of Texas, and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Pledge.
Okay, we have some friends from Campbell Elementary. Who's going to lead us out? We'll do it together. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you, and you may be seated. Nicole, you'll stand up here just a minute. So you're in a group. What organization are you in? Student Lighthouse. Do I have fourth graders? Raise your hand. Fourth grade? Okay, and fifth grade? Oh my goodness, fifth grade. Well, fourth graders, what are you looking forward to going to fifth grade?
In a higher grade.
In a higher grade?
Being
But the role models, that's excellent. And what about going to intermediate school? Any volunteers?
I am super excited because I'm going to the Wave School, and I know I'm going to see a bunch of my past friends.
That's friends. So Wave School with somebody else. Anybody else? What are you excited about intermediate?
So it's gonna get harder.
It's going to get harder. Do you have more freedom?
Yeah. Gym every day.
Gym every day. And that's exciting, right? Yes.
girls in gym class.
Oh, you don't have to be with the girls. There's all kinds of great stuff. Oh my gosh. It is going to be fun in intermediate school. Yes, yes. You're going to get to have more freedom. Well, thank y'all so much for being leaders at Campbell Elementary. Ms. Tide is here. Thank you so much, team, for all that you do and leading the way at Campbell. Well, you just have a few more days left of school throughout next week. So thank y'all very much. Okay. Give them a minute to exit out. Okay, well, we are excited to celebrate some fine arts tonight. Our 2024 Scholastic Gold Key recipients. 6 Clear Creek ISD high school students from around the district have won the 2024 Scholastic Art Gold Key Award and advanced to national level. They were selected by some of the foremost leaders in the visual and literary arts industry who looked for works that exemplify the award's core values: originality, skill, and the emergence of a personal voice or vision. Y'all come on in. Congratulations. We're going to call out everybody's names here, but come on in and get your honor. We are so excited. We have from Clear Creek High School, Amelia Weldon. Is Amelia here? Great. From Clear Falls High School, Madison Jacobs and Liliana Lopez. We here. And from Clear Lake High School, Dehu Patel. Great. And I believe that several of you are going to be back here again in a little bit for another award. So this is a very prestigious award, and we want to just first of all say congratulations. And the criteria talked about your personal voice in your piece. Can you tell us how that was exhibited and how maybe just how your personal voice came out or your vision in your piece? Anybody want to volunteer? You got it.
Well, we were told to do something that represents us as a person, and I used my sense of humor to do my whole painting, and I did animals in suits because it's not anything serious, so it's just play around with it a little bit.
My piece was it was a sculpture of a knife, like a box cutter knife cutting into a piece of metal. And the cutter knife was made of cardboard, so that was kind of funny. It's ironic, cardboard knife is cutting the metal plate. But I mean, I didn't have a greater purpose for it other than just it's fun. It's kind of different. It was challenging. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess it shows how I think and how I like to do stuff. Yeah.
Very creative. Very creative. Thank you so much. All right. Well, yes, we're going to get a picture.
Scoot on. Scoot to the middle. There you go.
And could we also, do we have teachers and principals here? Any? Administrator? Yes, come on up. Good. We do. Can we get one more picture with everybody? So much. Thank you. So our high school musicals attract crowds and are truly a flagship of the talent we have here in Clear Creek ISD. And this year, Clear Creek High School, Clear Falls High School, Clear Lake High School, and Clear Springs High School received 88 cumulative total Tommy Tune Award nominations and 14 finalist designations. That is a huge accomplishment. And we had one student who won the 2024 Tommy Tunes Award for Outstanding Supporting Lead for his performance as Josh in Clear Lake High School's rendition of Zombie Prom. Please join me in recognizing Renette Jane. Is Renette here? All right. Yeah, do you have a principal teacher here? Yes, I know. There you go. She is here. We'll get a picture together. All right. Wait, you can't get away that fast. Oh, no, we have another first. Okay, so talk to us about preparing for this, how you got into the role. It was a fantastic show. I mean, absolutely loved the show. Didn't even know about it till I got there. It was amazing. But tell us about how you got into the role, how you practiced, and what led you to this award.
So what made this role different than all the other roles I've played in past productions and at Clear Lake High School is this specific role felt like pretty natural to me. It was a very outgoing, energetic character. It was honestly felt like really natural to me, and like I really want to give thanks to both my directors and the choreographer for this musical, because throughout every run, what I believe that actually helped me win this award is that after every single run, they would tell me that however much energy that I think I was putting into it, I need to double it or triple it. Like I need to go as hard as I can, and then that left me like exhausted after every run, but obviously it paid off because this award couldn't have been done without them. So they got caught up in auditions today, so they couldn't make it, but thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And if you ever wonder the difference that a teacher, a director, an adult makes in these schools, you see it here every time. Thank you so much for sharing that too. We really appreciate it. It was an amazing show. Well, 2024 VACE students, some more art. It's wonderful to shine the light on the many accomplishments within our visual and performing arts programs. CCISD had 41 students from all 5 comprehensive high schools that entered a superior rating of a 4 at least one of the jury levels at the Visual Arts State Event Competition. I'm going to go ahead and call these names out as they're walking in. From Clearbrook High School, Fernando Zanetta, V. Williams, Gabe Torres, Honey Ortiz, and Lotus Pandolf. From Clear Creek High School, Natalia Griffin. From Clear Falls High School, Emma Howley, Mal Frezin, Juliet Dubkick, Maria Samaya, Sam McCune, Evan Bierman, Abigail Joy, Cami Kelly, and Jenny Chen. And do we have more? Yes, we're going to get closer together. Wait. I have a few more that I haven't shared yet. Clear Lake High School, where's my lake kids? There we go. Here we go. We're not going to, yeah. Okay. Chloe Komayak, Kristen Ma, Eva Stevens, Rain Cooper, and let's see, Rain also earned a VACE scholarship. And I believe that's did I get everybody's name? All right, great. Now we can have a picture. If you're art teacher, administrators, let's all get, can we get some others in here? Thank you. The influences in your life? Yes, all the influences in your life.
Stagger a little. Sword up front, fall in the back.
Kennedy Pugh, did I not do that?
Oh, no big deal. Liz, how are you doing?
And congratulations. We are so impressed with all your talent. And we have 3 that we'd like to kind of highlight above that. And we have 3 that are our Gold Seal Award winners. So if you're a Gold Seal Award winners, would you mind remaining? Big round of applause for everybody here. Okay, thank you all. All right, now we've got, and I'm going to call out our Gold Seal Award winners. You can stay. Good, good, good. All right, Abigail Joy from Clear Falls High School. Yes. Ashna Makogia, am I right? Huh? She's not here. And Kennedy Pugh from Clear Springs High School. All right, we have 2 Gold Seal Award winners, and I want to share a little bit about the prestige of this honor. From what I understand, they received a perfect score, a score of excellent at the area, region, and state level, all 3 levels. They are in the top 1% of everyone that attended state VASE. Top 1%. Their artwork is going to be, it goes on tour now. And do y'all know that? Your artwork's going on tour, just saying. All right. And it kind of comes back to rest in Galveston, I think, in November. And then you can pick it up. What are you going to do with your piece once it is concluded its statewide tour?
Well, I'm probably just going to frame it and then set it in my art studio with the rest of my paintings. Maybe take a few pictures and send some postcards out to my family. I know they're very proud of me for this.
I too think I'm going to frame my piece. I also hope to learn some lessons that I learned while making this piece.
And really, when did you, and I'm just curious, because this is the top of the top in the state with art. When did you first realize you just had a passion for art, a love for art?
So I've been doing art my entire life. I started art competitions in the 6th grade, and ever since then I've just kept at it. Art's always been around in my life, and it's very prevalent. It's what I do for a job, and it almost takes up pretty much all of my time. So.
For me, I was never really into art, but it's because of my brother in middle school. He was the one that told me, take art, it'll be good for your credits. And I was like, what? I didn't want to take art. But then I started to do art and I started to pursue it. And here I am, high school, doing art and with the gold seal.
Wow.
So a lot of thanks to my brother.
Yes,
Wow.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you both so much. Yes. Oh, we're gonna take a picture with this exclusive goals. Principals, teachers, Ms. Goldner, yes, y'all come on up. So much. Congratulations.
Got the UT burner on.
Congratulations. Thank you. And I'm going to introduce our program spotlight. We are grateful for our dedicated PTA members. I'm not going to do that yet.
Election summary.
Okay, Kathy, stay right there. I'm going to go sit down and I'm going to follow the rules.
She was
Kathy
getting
will
geared
be
up.
introduced
She was
soon.
getting geared up.
I'm so excited. But we are going to have, but I'm more excited about Alice's update.
Thank you, Ms. Benzai. So we have the election summary.
Yes, and we are very grateful to Ms. Benzai and her team, and just wanted to give you just a review and some numbers and an election summary. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to her. Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight I'm going to provide a brief recap of this month's Board of Trustee election for Single Member District 4. As you know, this May we had 3 board positions up for election and held 1 election, which was single member District 4, which is wholly in Harris County. For your information, I've provided a schedule of our upcoming board elections. In May of 2025, we'll have single member District 1 and at-large position B. And both of these are located in both Galveston and Harris counties. Just a brief recap of the May 4th election. We had 33,649 registered voters and had a 3.95% turnout. This is about double the turnout that we had 3 years ago in this single member district. We had added a early voting location over at the LSC, which was a very good thing to do because we had several voters that ended up voting there during early voting this year. We had a successful implementation of the equipment that the board approved, which were the poll pads. This equipment was a very valuable investment. It allowed us to control our voter database with voting statuses and ensure voters were at correct locations, quickly process our voters in line, and generate our voter rosters for daily posting on the website. We were also able to monitor our polling locations right here from the ESC to ensure there weren't any issues. New curbside voting requirements were met. These new election rules require that we make curbside voting available, and although we had very few curbside voters, we were ready for them. We did improve our ballot by mail process. We mailed out about 486 ballots, received 179 back, and we quickly reviewed those carrier envelopes to make sure that they were to determine if they had any discrepancies on them. And on April 3rd, we began our notification process to voters to let them know if there was an issue and give them the opportunity to correct their ballot or their carrier envelopes. Our early voting ballot board met early on April 24th to begin reviewing ballots by mail, and they also placed phone calls to those voters that had issues with their carrier envelopes. The board met again on election day, and we ended up with only 7 ballots that were not corrected by voters. So I'm pleased that we were able to push this effort to ensure that we could count every vote possible. We also had timely reporting of our election results. On election night, we were able to start posting our early vote results by 7:30 p.m. and final votes at around 9 p.m. Of course, we'd like to see that happen earlier, but those times are really contingent on the election judges shutting down their polling places and coming back to the ESC, and that was coming back from Clearbrook High School and Ward Elementary. We also were required by the Texas Election Code to perform a partial manual recount. So that requires a manual count in an election in which an electronic voting system is used. And it must be conducted in 1% of election precincts with a minimum of 3 precincts. So since we only had 2 election precincts this time, we did have to perform a manual count on all 1,321 ballots cast on our electronic system, and 0 discrepancies were found. As you recall, we received notice on January 9th from Harris County Clerk Tanisha Hudspeth that Harris County would not enter into election services contracts with local governmental entities for the May 4th uniform election date due to equipment limitations on their end. I wanted to include a quick note for the board, just as a reminder. Chapter 31 of the Election Code speaks to contracting for elections, and basically there is not a requirement when the county election officer is a county clerk to administer other entities' elections. So this brings me to the last slide, which is the election cost. And elections are no doubt an expensive business when you factor in the cost of equipment, the ballot production and supplies, the notices, and the payroll cost. It's important to note before I get into this that many of the costs that we incur, such as notice publications, translation services, equipment licenses, and maintenance contracts, are borne by the district regardless of if we contract with the county or administer the elections ourselves. For a reference point, the November of 2023 bond invader election costs were slightly over $290,000 between the 2 counties, and this would be in addition to the routine expenditures that I just mentioned. On the right, I've outlined the costs that we've put together so far for this, the May election. And I broke it down between administration of the election and those costs that the county would have borne, and the recurring costs which CCISD incurs regardless of who runs the election. While we're still accumulating the total cost, it looks like this election ran around $100,000. The administration of it ran around $76,000, and this includes that one-time equipment purchase for our poll pads. And so in the bottom left corner, I just tried to evaluate how this would compare to a contract with the county. And this election, it was slightly more than what the Harris County would have charged, mainly due to the need of purchasing that additional equipment. I also tried to look if this had been an at-large election. You can see that the cost, of course, would be closer to $290,000, and so it would have been cheaper, less expensive for the district to run an election when it's an at-large election. A cost that you don't really see here is the time, staff time for myself, staff time for Jenna Brown and others around the district that went into administering the actual election. It's hard to quantify that, but there was a lot of time put in that you don't see here to run the election. We were able to wean off of our technology department quite a bit because of the purchase of the equipment, so that was the reliance is not as much there on that department as it would have been in the past. And so that concludes our recap of the May election. I'd like to thank not only Jenna Brown, our early voting clerk, but also our election workers and judges. Our polling place judges were Mr. James Simmons, who also helped us train and prepare our election workers, Ms. Gaylyn Lyons and Ms. Leanne Whitman. These three individuals are tasked with ensuring that the election process is administered fairly and in accordance with the laws, election laws. They're all very passionate about elections and about ensuring that our polling places are operating effectively for our voters, and they did an amazing job. So I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Benzo. Any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. President,
Mr. Green?
I just wanted to reiterate the job that Jenna has done past couple elections that we've had to administer. And then when you know who is involved from the district side in our elections, the public may not know, but I know the years of experience. And I get it. We don't want to administer our own elections. I get it, but we do a good job when we do administer our elections. And then I just wanted to reiterate all of the time that you mentioned the public doesn't know conferences, workshops, things of that nature around town and also in Austin that staff, keeps abreast of what the latest. So thank you. And please extend to Jenna, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments?
Yeah, Mr. President, I've expressed this earlier, but I really want to commend you for a very well-run election. I've been an election judge many times in the past, and I really can't fault anything that was done here. I will say that I don't doubt for a minute the accuracy of your financial estimates here, but I think in a more general sense they're misleading because I think in any other district we might have come in underneath the Harris County cost. I'm really unhappy with the prices they quote us, even when they do agree to perform the election. But other than that, I just want to commend you on a job well done.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Any other comments or questions from the board? I'll echo what's been shared. Ms. Benzai, please also thank Jenna, and to Mr. Cunningham's point and Mr. Larson's point, we do know there's lots of additional time to prepare in advance, and then also throughout, just ensuring the accuracy and the precision that's taken to make sure that every vote is represented and counted. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is the program spotlight.
Now I have the privilege of introducing Kathy. We are so grateful for our dedicated PTA members, and I've enjoyed working alongside many of them this year to ensure that we are making strong family connections and supporting the efforts of Clear Creek Council of PTAs. With us tonight is President Kathy Galt. She will present an annual report to the Board of Trustees. And I just want to personally say thank you for your efforts and for bringing so many volunteers together to support our students and all of the youth in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Engel, and Dr. Engel's staff. I am Catherine Galt, Council President for the Clear Creek Community Council of PTAs. The collective vision of the 46 PTAs that make up our council is to ensure every child's potential is a reality. Because we value the partnership between superintendent, school board, community, and PTA, and because we count on your continued support, I want to give you a brief update on our important work. The PTA mission is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. The Council's purpose is to act as a primary channel of communication within the PTA network. We provide information, support, guidance, inspiration, and instructions to our local PTAs. We serve to strengthen all PTAs, develop leadership potential, promote PTA membership, and advance Texas PTA's goals, programs, and initiatives. As a community council, we serve PTAs in the Bay Area, specifically, but not limited to, Clear Creek, Santa Fe, and Dickinson ISDs. Currently, we have 46 active PTAs, 43 in CCISD and 3 in Santa Fe ISD, for a combined membership of 11,301. That translates to 1 in 4 students served by our council being represented by a PTA member. We had an increase for the 3rd consecutive year at over 113% of last year's total, and we had the 4th highest council increase in the state of Texas. Locally, we had an increase at 32 of our campuses, 17 elementary, all 10 of our intermediate schools, 4 high schools, and the special education PTA. Through the CCA of PTA's community membership program, parents, staff, and the community can join more than 1 local PTA. We would like to thank our Platinum community members, Dr. Engel and Jessica Cheka, who have joined every local PTA in our council. We also have the following individuals use the community membership program to join a feeder pattern of schools or a specific group of schools that need extra support. Jonathan Cottrell, Carrie Cunningham, Jay Cunningham, Holly Hughes, Paul Miller, Leela Sarmakaniak, said that right, and Arturo Sanchez. Thank you for your support. The Golden Apple Award is important for PTAs. Our partnership with the district is so important that Texas PTA celebrates every council with a Golden Apple Award when the superintendent, district level administrators, and all trustees join. We received it this year, and I thank you for your support, and membership for next year opens August 1st. In addition to the Council Golden Apple, each campus PTA can also be a Golden Apple Award winner if 100% of their teachers and administrators join their PTA. 13 PTAs within CCISD have been awarded this distinction. The Campus Golden Apple always gives our locals and principals some extra bragging rights. For the 2nd year in a row, Clear Lake High School has received the award, and just the sheer number of faculty and staff at the high school level makes this quite an accomplishment. As the Texas PTA mission states, we believe in one voice for every child. This translates to 1 PTA member registered for every student on campus. This year, Mossman Elementary received the Platinum Voice for Every Child Award by having 970 members compared to a recorded enrollment of 658. National PTA's School of Excellence program supports and celebrates partnerships between PTAs and schools to enrich the educational experience and overall well-being for all students. The path to excellence starts with a joint commitment of PTA and school leaders to work together to achieve PTA's national standards for family-school partnerships. The 6 standards are welcome all families, communicate effectively, support student success, speak up for every child, share the power, and collaborate with the community. North Point Elementary has received this distinction for 2022 through 2024. Council has 5 delegate meetings during the school year. During these meetings, we share timely PTA information, recognize the district's top volunteers, and recognize our PTAs for their membership recruiting efforts. At each meeting, we spotlight 2 or 3 of our local PTAs with special awards. We gave out GEM awards for individuals going the extra mile. Campus in the Spotlight Awards highlight a unique program at their campus, and Power Principal Awards for the principals that go above and beyond in their support of PTA. We have also hosted programs this year on the Vader and bond elections, the Canvas system, CCISD's new Bridges Mentor program, and Adapted PE Day. In February, we partnered with Texas PTA and hosted a Straight Talk watch party at the LSC. The topic this year was on navigating the smartphone era. This was a live-streamed event featuring top-notch panelists discussing how smartphones are impacting our children's minds, bodies, and classrooms. At our final delegate meeting of the year, we were honored to award Atul Jain of Motu the Texas PTA Lifetime Membership Award for his continued support of our district, local PTAs, as well as surrounding school districts. And our very own Dr. Engel received the Texas PTA Extended Service Award for her long-standing history with the district and her continued support of PTA and our mission. And I think you're wearing our pin. The council provides training for our local leaders in the fall and again in May for newly elected leaders. We also had 60 local leaders who attended Texas PTA launch in July, along with roughly 3,000 other PTA leaders from across the state, and learned more about their PTA jobs, family engagement, parent education programs, and state and local advocacy. Reflections is a nationwide art program sponsored by National PTA. It provides opportunities for students to be recognized in the arts and in life. Students can submit art in the following forms: dance choreography, film production, literature, music composition, photography, and visual arts. Council collected 90 pieces of art from our locals. The entries were judged by community members, and 19 entries advanced to state. We hosted our annual Reflections reception in February. Feedback from students and parents for the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. Additionally, in December, Hannah Frigia of Hyde Elementary was chosen as one of the 5 finalists for the National PTA Reflections 25-26 theme search. This year, CCC of PTAs held its council celebration on April 11th at Clear Springs High School. Adrian Hicks from the Texas PTA Board of Directors gave our keynote speech. Every year, we host a silent auction at the dinner that supports our council scholarship fund, which provides up to 11 $500 scholarships to graduating seniors within our council. And we appreciate your support to help us achieve our mission. There is new excitement in PTA. We look forward to another year of working together for the good of what's most important, our students. Please know we are here to support your efforts and do not hesitate to call on the PTA whenever we can help. As my predecessor did last year, I would like to take this opportunity to share what our local PTAs have accomplished. These are just a few slides that highlight the many events and countless number of hours that our volunteers have given to the schools and children. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. President,
Ms. Checa?
I just want to say thank you for all that you do. Please pass that along to all the PTAs. I know that you guys are working tirelessly at the council level as well as at your school level, and I think a lot of the student support and activities that are provided come through PTAs. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you.
Yeah, Control.
So echo what she said, and I'm glad you mentioned August 1st. So everybody needs to know, go to joinpta.org on August 1st.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all of your volunteers, and then thank everybody who's joined PTA, because it really does make a difference in every campus. And it's amazing to hear those numbers. The fact that a campus has more members than actual enrollment, and just the love and support is amazing. And so, yeah, it's great to see so many people supporting and joining PTA. I'm proud to have been a member for many years and former PTA president. And so, you know, we put ourselves out there, we volunteer and give back as much as we can. So thank you for all you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cottrell. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, I would also echo, I know behind every slide that you showed and every stat that you shared, there are parents and families and community members and businesses and nonprofit organizations that really get behind all of the different activities and events that PTAs put on across the district. And when you reference 11,301 PTA members, that's a significant number. And that represents lots of people who are contributing not only with their membership, but then likely also spending time on our campuses and at events. And so thank you for spending your time above and beyond what you were doing at the campus level, but for helping to lead this for all PTAs across the district. So please share that thanks as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is the district update.
Oh, yes. Thank you, President Sanchez. And just a quick, once again, I'd like to congratulate our 3 trustees for serving another 3 years. So congratulations. I would also like to thank Alice Benzai, Jenna Brown, and all the election workers who worked tirelessly to hold the seamless election. May is the month of celebrations. We are nearing the end of school and have enjoyed many May celebrations. During our annual volunteer and partnership breakfast, we named faithful friends and the CCISD Watchdogs as our partners of the year. The following week, we named our CCISD Teachers of the Year during our annual Teacher of the Year luncheon, which is generously sponsored by the Rotary Clubs of Space Center, League City, and Seabrook. Congratulations to Laura Nelson from Parr Elementary, who is our 2024 CCISD Elementary Teacher of the Year, and Katie Taylor from Bayside Intermediate, who is our 2024 Secondary Teacher of the Year. Both teachers will advance to the Region 4 level. And we held our first awards night for robotics. Their success has gotten so large that it was difficult to fit them all in this room. A special thanks to Space Center Houston for hosting us. CCISD retirees, we honored the exceptional service of our retirees. We have 107 CCISD employees who will retire this year. Collectively, they have given 2,200 years of service to public education. As I shared with them during our retirement dinner, there is always home for them in Clear Creek ISD. And finally, course selections, we are looking forward to next school year. With our change to the class rank policy, it allows more students opportunity to follow their passions in elective courses. We are now seeing an increase in the number of students enrolling in course electives. We have had an increase in program enrollment in both choir and dance, and I would like to thank the Board of Trustees for approving 2 new positions to support that growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Engel. Next item on the agenda is community input. The purpose of community input is for the entire board to receive feedback from citizens. The board will hear public comments, but will not respond except as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act to respond to an inquiry by a member of the public or by a board member with a statement of specific factual information, recitation of existing policy, or to deliberate a proposal to place a subject on the agenda for a subsequent meeting. Matters brought forth that require a response will be addressed by the superintendent as appropriate. All information received is subject to verification. Community input is scheduled for 30 minutes and has 2 forums. Those requesting to address the board in advance of the meeting are granted 3 minutes to address their topics, and those who sign up this evening prior to 6:30 are granted 1 minute. In a district our size, there will certainly be issues or topics which will understandably generate considerable interest from the public. It is important that members of our community be able to address the school board respectfully, without disruption, without fear of intimidation from other attendees. On behalf of the board, the superintendent, CCISD staff, we welcome your input during CCISD school board meetings. We request that everyone exhibit the respect and understanding each person rightfully deserves when addressing the school board during the public input portion of the meeting. And our first speaker tonight is Albert Whitliff.
Good evening, everyone. As said, my name is Albert Whitliff, and I think all of you know me because I was recently a candidate for this board. First and foremost, I want to congratulate Jeff and wish you best of luck going forward on your next term. I know you're going to keep working for all the constituents. It was a tremendous learning experience to do this and was run amazingly well, as has already been mentioned this evening. One of the things that I gathered a lot, though, in talking to a lot of people, where there are a few topics that folks, the constituents, have some severe concerns about. And I just thought I'd take the time, since I was fresh off of it, to just come mention it to you. For one thing, they want to make certain that the district's funds stay in the district. The vouchers programs have people nervous and they don't really like it. They want to see how we can keep that money here and keep this school district going the way it is. They also are watching some of the other school districts around and have some big concerns about libraries, librarians, and other kinds of specialized programs. I heard that come up a lot. It's an important thing. A library without a librarian is just sort of a stack of books. So we want to make certain that we've got those professionals here working on it and helping work with the parents so that the appropriate books are available to the appropriate students. Given my background, and I think you guys know this in law enforcement and security, I heard a lot about school safety. And that is something that people have big concerns with. I know that's a complicated thing to do. We obviously don't want the schools looking like fortresses or prisons. We do want them safe. I can say that I think people would feel better if they had a little bit better understanding of what procedures and processes are in place to keep their kids safe. Obviously not in a way that puts it out there to jeopardize that safety, but in a way that reassures them that there's action being taken and something that they can track and understand. And I think that's important to do for them. So those are sort of the big three that were brought to my attention the most. Again, it was a tremendous opportunity to learn a lot more. I enjoyed it. And I'm here to help. And if there's ways that I can help going forward, I'd like to do that because I'll be around. Thank you all for everything that you do and your commitment. It means a lot. And I appreciate you giving me a minute to talk. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Erica Merrill.
Good evening. My name is Erica Merrill. I am a volunteer in the school district. I am a mom in the school district. I am a taxpayer and I am a community member. And so I'm glad to be here this evening with you all. I am here representing the Clear Lake High School Choir Program. You've heard from me before. I've got some good news tonight to share with you. We had a couple programs last week and we had both music. So we had sound and we had lights. So I want to thank Miss Raska for following through on her commitment to that. Also, Arturo Sanchez was there for one of the concerts, and I think that he can agree that all of the kids had smiles on their faces. They were all shining, bright, and happy. This 123 student program is very important. We sold 279 tickets the first night and 348 tickets the second night. These kids feel inclusive, they feel like this is their family, and this is something that they can be good at. Not only can they be good at, but it helps them in other ways too, public speaking for one. So I really wanted to thank you on that. I also wanted to say that our job's not yet done. We're not quite there yet. I did get a call from Franklin Moses, who has committed to several things, and we want to make sure that there's some accountability there. He did agree that these three things would be committed to and done by the first of the school year for 2024, which is August. So I want to make sure that there's accountability on these things, and you're going to hear about those things this evening. Also, you know, we're not looking for more than we deserve as a choir program. We're not. We're actually looking for equity. And I think it's really important that we understand the difference between the staffing in the choir program certainly the athletics program, but band and the other fine arts. So there is a discrepancy, there is inequity in the way that we're staffed. I think it's important, I've brought this forward several times. I would love to have some transparency on that, and I would challenge the board and the district to get Mr. Moses and his team to put together something that we can all look at, understand, and appreciate. I think that would clear up a lot of concern and confusion for the parents, because there is, again, a discrepancy. There's an inequity in the staffing between the fine arts programs, certainly the athletics, but fine arts for sure. So I just want to thank you guys for all that you do, and I'm proud of our program, and I want the kids to continue to be proud of the program. I want to keep it relevant, I want to keep it competitive, and that's why I continue to be here, to stand up and speak for these kids. Thank you.
Carolyn Harrington.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Harrington. I am a parent of 2 children at Clear Lake High School. I am here tonight to speak on the topic of Clear Lake High School Choir. Since November, many parents, community members, and students have voiced their concerns over the changes in the choir department's changes through voicemail, phone calls, emails, and at the board meetings. One concern has been the overall lack of funding and attention given to our choir department, which has resulted in reduction of staff, which has affected other aspects in the choir program. Last week, I was contacted by Franklin Moses and update on all the meetings and proposals the district, choir directors, and school board have had. He advised me that they have reached an agreement and have a final resolution that they are happy with and have been approved by the school board. Even knowing this information, I still chose to come and speak tonight because I believe it is important to have follow-up and transparency when commitments are being made to the community it serves. This information regarding the resolution should have a place during community input so parents and community members can know about the changes that have been established thanks to their willingness and their courage to come up here and speak. I did change what I was going to be speaking about tonight based off of the phone call. Instead of asking for things, I would like to acknowledge those commitments. Those commitments were for an additional $4,000 to each program to fund additional clinician help, research the additional assistance from interns at area universities, and offer additional funding for after-school hours support and supervision when needed. In addition to these commitments, during the phone conversation, I was advised staffing ratio guidelines have also been updated and given additional provisions. I do not have numbers or things breaking down for this, so I do not want to give out information so I don't give out misinformation. But as a courtesy to parents, I urge that these new provisions be posted for review after this meeting so that they find a home on the CCISD website for transparency and accountability. As a parent, it makes me feel better knowing there are district standards and guidelines being followed on how, when, and why ratios are sent and why the frequency that they're being reviewed. In conclusion, I hope these measures are not treated as a final resolution, since it's very rare the first solution is usually the final one. We all know that by documents and things being amended and having addendums attached to them, which is why I ask that this is treated instead as a beginning step of a new review process that will be continually monitored and updated as needed. I also hope these measures are not just words that get stuck in the good intention phase or in the planning phase, but are given the proper time and attention needed to be fully, not partially, but fully implemented by the beginning of the school year. I do look forward to speaking again next year to give an update on the progress and give feedback to what is working, where improvements can still be made, so that we can continually be striving towards success for our students in their music education and excellence within our district's choir education programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom Davis.
As usual, I'd like to thank the board and administration for everything you do to support parental authority, teacher pedagogy, and the future of our boys and girls. Liberty and Marxism are direct opposites. Where the schools are centers of education, blessed by parental authority and focused on reading, writing, and arithmetic, there is freedom. Where the schools are centers of activism and opposition to parental authority, there is perpetual revolution. The Red Scarf Girl, available in CCISD libraries, tell us of the happy life the author led in China up until she was 12 years old, when her family became a target of the Cultural Revolution. It discusses the choice she had to make between denouncing her father and breaking with her family, or refusing to speak against him and losing her future in the Communist Party. Parental authority was stolen from her. Thank goodness that couldn't happen in America, right? But hold on. Let's look more closely. In the United States, approximately 1,044 school districts impacting more than 10 million students have transgender or gender nonconforming policies that require school administrators and district personnel to keep a student's transgender status hidden from parents. Parental authority has been stolen here in the United States in roughly 10% of its school districts in written policy. Also, proposed Title IX amendments will, among other things, infringe on parental rights to oversee their child's safety and well-being at school-sponsored athletic events. Stealing parental authority is a core tactic of Marxism. Our colleges of education have been infiltrated by the work of Paulo Freire, a Brazilian Marxist, since the 1980s. Social media and schools are the zones of highest risk for such theft of parental authority. We have school zone speed limits to protect our children's physical safety, but protecting the integrity of their most important relationships, parents and future spouses, is a more complicated process. History has shown us that if we fail, the stakes are very high. Here's the death toll in the 20th century according to the Black Book of Communism. 65 million in the People's Republic of China, 20 million in the Soviet Union, 2 million in Cambodia, 2 million in North Korea, 1.7 million in Ethiopia, 1.5 million in Afghanistan, 1 million in the Eastern Bloc, and 1 million in Vietnam. Now you know more about why I show up at board meetings to thank you for everything you do to support parental authority, teacher pedagogy, and the future of our boys and girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Danny Cracciolo.
Good evening, CCISD board and community. During this school year, parents and students have advocated for the Clear Lake High School choir program. The messages seem consistent. Additional staffing is essential within the Clear Lake High School choir program to ensure the safety of the students and for the program to remain relevant and competitive. The understaffing and the lack in faculty support for the program has been allowed to remain throughout this school year. And now with this school year ending, I trust the community input received to date has helped this board determine the work to complete before the start of the new school year. Parkinson's law states, work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. If this board honors the personal voices of parents and students and prioritizes the Clear Lake High School choir program, the work required to resolve the community concerns will not expand into the new school year. Thank you for all your help to date. Look forward to more assistance.
Thank you. Amanda McGee. Amanda McGee. Kalina Pollard. Kalina Pollard. Sylvia Hernandez. Sylvia Hernandez. Julian Herrera.
Good evening. My name is Julian Herrera. I came here today to address books in the school libraries. Right now, I am telling the school board to come together and remove all child pornography and grooming material from the school district. Some of the books provide diagrams with explicit detail on how to have threesome, gangbangs, and how to take a penis or a dildo in the ass. take action and take responsibility now to remove child pornography and grooming material. Any board member or anyone in this room who disagrees is the problem and a pervert. This is grooming the children and destroying their identity. And for parents, each of you needs to wake up and get involved in what your child is learning and reading. Parents, you are the leaders. Take action, take responsibility, and create a godly foundation in your home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Pastor Richard Vega.
Good evening, guys. Tonight we heard some concerns from the community. I went to school at PH Green, Land Dalton, Clearbrook. My kids went to Wedgewood, they went to Brookside, and then they went to Clearbrook as well. And my team started investigating this school district, and we found within 15 minutes, we found over 36 pornography books that are allowed in the library. We heard concerns from the community earlier today about librarians and libraries. Let me just read a little bit of passage out of a book that's in 6 of our high schools here in our ISD. It's Out of Darkness. It says, for boys, pussy, or the idea of pussy, or the idea of pussy. On page 103, it says, maybe a little retarded, a lot like the Mexicans are. On page 133, it says, you've been feeding us nigger food. Can you tell me where this is educational at all? I mean, this is extreme racism, and black and brown have come a long way in this country to be able to get over this filth. This is trash that this school district has purchased and has allowed in 6 high schools for our kids to have access to. How is that even possible? How is that possible if we put things in place to protect our kids? Is there policies adopted by this board to protect our kids? This next book that I'm going to read is called What Girls Are Made Of, which I know it doesn't represent the community, nor does it represent any of the ladies that are up there. But it says right here on page 58, yet I, least of all souls, take him in my hand, eat him and drink him, and do with him what I will. She was talking about worshiping Jesus, but come on. She was talking about having sex, right? Sex with Jesus. That's what she wanted. She wanted to give Jesus head, and I totally understand it. You're telling me this is acceptable to be in our school libraries? Again, in 6 of our high schools that kids can have access to, that can open up their laptops and go on their catalog and be able to pull this filth out. I got more and more and more of these books. I got list and list and list. I'm kind of curious. We did a little bit of research, and we found out that these books cost anywhere between $20 and $30 a book. Now, if you guys have 1,000 books in there, let's just take a cost average. That'd be $20,000 that this school district spent on books. I mean, I think that could probably go to the band and the choir. I mean, it could go to tutoring. It could go to furthering education, real education, than purchasing this crap. But here's what I'll tell you. If you're a man and woman of faith, James chapter 4:17 tells us if we know the right thing to do and we don't do it, we've sinned. That's the truth. Get this junk out of our schools and do the right thing to represent this community well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vega. Jessica Carrion. Jessica Carrion.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Carrion, and I am a parent with the award-winning Clearbrook Band Drumline. I'm also a member of the FFA and the PTSA board. I originally had something else to say about the current color guard director position, but I changed my mind. And I just want to say that I know the school board and the members of the district administration are aware of our concerns regarding the color guard director position. I have faith that we are being heard, and I respectfully would like to say that I appreciate the attention, and I look forward to a productive, transparent, and positive outcome. Let's keep that going. In a few days, I'm going to be a senior mom, and my retirement with CCISD will come to an end, 23 years. I want to know that the Clearbrook Band Program will be in great hands, thriving, and continue winning long after I leave Clearbrook. After I leave Clearbrook. I'm CCISD proud always. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Graham. Jacqueline Caldwell Guerrero.
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline. I'm a parent of one of the Guard members at Clearbrook High School. I would like to say that I did speak with Mr. Moses last Friday. He did say that it is being addressed and being looked at. I do hope that that is resolved soon. The reason why I'm here is because I have brought letters from our children. They want to have their voices heard as well. All of these speak to the great value that Mr. Rod had and the Guard director has as the position. And this is the reason why we should have a Guard director position as a paraprofessional position with benefits and better pay. I'm going to leave these all with you. There's a bunch. I would really love for y'all to read through them so you can see what the girls feel about their director that resigned and also how they feel about the Guard position that is needed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Caldwell Guerrero. If you could leave them with Ms. McMahon. Thank you. Jenny Russell.
Good evening, board members. I'm Jenny Russell, and I also wanted to take this opportunity to speak with you about the Color Guard program. As you're well aware, because I've also spoken to Mr. Moses and also Dr. Engel this week, that our Color Guard instructor of 9 years is going to be leaving us at the end of the school year, and our team is effectively in limbo. This team means so much to our girls, it means so much to our school, and we really want to find somebody that will promote the same values that Mr. Rod has had, the same great influence that he's had on our girls, that he's shown them that he knows what he's worth, and he's not going to settle for less. And so the girls see that that's what they should do too, that they know what they are worth. They should not settle for less. And we really hope that as you work to build up this program, that it will help to continue to make our girl capable and help CCISD with their quest for the best and make our school Clearbrook proud. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Amelia Moore.
Hello, my name is Amelia Moore, and I'm a freshman in the Clearbrook Color Guard. This Color Guard is award-winning, and the base for that is our amazing coach, Mr. Rod, and his passion, talent, and dedication to the sport and our team. Over the span of 1 year, he has taught me advanced skills, as well as fostered a drive for success and high standards for anything and everything that we do. We have lost this outstanding coach to another Color Guard team that offered compensation that reflected the demands and quality of the position. We would like CCISD to offer compensation that matches the commitment of the job to an even better coach applicants in the future, that will allow our team to remain award-winning and keep the students in the sport safe. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. That was our last speaker. The next item on the agenda is consider approval of a resolution authorizing the conveyance of a 10-acre fee property. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move we adopt a resolution authorizing the conveyance of a 10-acre fee property and a .502 acre electrical easement to the city of Friendsburg.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor will raise your hand. And it passes unanimous. Next item is consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President,
Mr. Cottrell?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Cottrell. Any questions or comments? I do have just one item, item 5, under acceptance of donations. So I'll pull item 5.
You want me to amend my motion?
If you would, please.
Anything else? So, Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented minus item 5.
Thank you, Mr. Cottrell. Any comments or questions? All those in favor of consent agenda minus item 5, if you raise your hand. It passes unanimous. And the question I had, Dr. Engel, was around the donations, and then specifically an item that was listed from the Houston Rockets. Didn't know if you might be able to share a little bit of background about that item.
And I do have a little bit of background on that, because it was such a large number. Did a little bit of investigation and research on that. And the Houston Rockets are relocating their control room. And with that said, our own Amber Pacini, who is works the Rocket games, you know, she works the events on the weekend, and she was able to be a part of that process as they were relocating, and has had students out there, and they have donated the $200,000 worth of equipment. And so going back and looking at this, and I kind of, like I said, it was a really exciting opportunity, but a lot of the equipment will go to the Robotics Event Center, including graphics machines, replay machine, and she was very excited about desk and monitors. Right now they're on folding tables, and so they'll have some nice equipment there, some other camera and equipment for classrooms, as well as some box lens and things that we'll be able to use at the football game. So that was some information that it is a very nice large donation, and we're grateful to the Rockets for sharing their excess equipment with us. So, and really grateful for Ms. Pacini and our CTE team that asked for it. You know, she's certainly out there aggressively seeking what's best for our students, and we're very happy with that. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Engel. Any comments or questions from the board? Did you make a motion for that one?
I do have a comment. I just wanted to say that without the wonderful job that is being done in CTE with regard to our communications, this wouldn't have been possible. This would have never happened. And I think that should be noted.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Larson.
Mr. President,
Mr. Cunningham?
I move that the board approves the superintendent's recommendation to accept the donations.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your hand. It passes unanimous. Thank you, Dr. Engel. Next item on the agenda is consider approval of the use of capital project funds for facility-related projects.
Mr. Miller and Mr. Aragon will give you a little more descriptor of that.
Good evening, everybody. So we have 3 projects under this capital funding request. So the first project is request to utilize bonds 2017 savings and interest totaling $318,000. And these are for added costs that have to deal with the project that we're going to be doing at Bay Elementary. So it is the existing bond 2023 included a secure vestibule for that project. After assessing the situation, I decided to remove that project from the main schedule that I had, typically when we do these projects, I like to keep all the campus work together. But due to the importance of getting that campus to have a secure vestibule, because currently there is none. So there is a point in the school where where kids can pass through and parents and visitors can pass through without having to go through secure vestibule. So we've had requests from Safe Schools and the Seabrook Police Department and about us wanting to do this project soon. So we decided to go with it. It's an accelerated project. It's a challenging layout the way it is right now. So after diving into the project with the architects, we deemed that we had to do a lot more interior renovation work to make the floor plan work properly. Therefore, the added cost of the $318,000. And what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to build out a storefront wall, basically, in a new vestibule, and basically renovate almost the entire admin area so that the flow works correctly.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Aragon. Any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. President.
Mr. Cunningham?
Mr. Aragon, I just wanted to thank you and your department. I think it was after our athletic luncheon, Dr. Engel and myself had the chance to go over to the auxiliary building, and thank you for giving me a behind-the-scenes look of your staging area and how you guys, work on the projects and everything. So I just don't know if I thanked you, but I had such a good time. I just wanted to extend that. So thank you.
Happy to have you. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments or questions from the board?
Just the obvious, I think this speaks very well to our continuing commitment to safe and secure schools for everybody. And this simply just brings this building into line with the standards that we apply everywhere. I'd like to thank you guys for pulling this together.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Mr. Murray?
There's two additional items on this.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so the total is $391,606. So now we're going to be going to the second project. So this is again to utilize bonds 2017 savings and interest, and this is to replace the existing drinking fountains at Armand Bayou Elementary. The total for that work is $40,680. These are very old, out-of-dated water fountains that are producing not very good water. Campus and visitors have reached out and requested that we make this change. So this we feel is the ideal time to do it. This project is scheduled to start immediately after school lets out and will be completed before kids are back in school.
Thank you, Mr. Aragon. Do you want to go ahead and talk about the last piece as well?
And the third one is an oops. We had a student driver, I guess she drove her dad's car into the wall at Armand Bayou. So it is, we'll be utilizing it, the cost to make the repair, which is pretty significant. It's got some block damage and some brick damage and some interior damage, is $32,926. That work again will start immediately after we'll let out for summertime and will be completed before kids are back in class, because this actually affects the classroom. We are requesting to utilize capital contingency reserve, but we will reimburse that fund. I've already reached out to the adjuster, and they actually are in the process of getting us a check for this claim. And it's on the third party. It's on the insured driver policy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Aragon. Any comments or questions around these?
Yeah, Mr. President, I just would like to make note that the last time I was in Armand Bayou, there was a complaint that students were bringing water to school because they felt that poorly about the quality of water coming from the drinking fountains. So I appreciate that we're finally getting this taken care of.
I will follow up on that a little bit. So we did find out that the original water fountains were the old tank system in the ceiling, and so it really is just a metallic taste of the water. We did replace in a prior bond the actual water lines in there, the old galvanized water lines, but we didn't replace those old tanks. And that's what our plumbers really dug into that. I would like to shout out to our maintenance department for getting over there and really digging in to figure out what was really going on, and they did find that that was the issue. So we are, Alex and his team are going to replace those old tanks with new electronic drinking fountains, and they will have the bottle filler attachment as well.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Any other comments or questions from the board?
I'll just throw this out there. I appreciate the attention to our older campuses. You know, obviously Bay and Armor Valley are some of the older campuses, been there for a while. And so everything we can continue to do for them to, you know, try to keep up, whether it's the water fountains or secure vegetables or maybe the playgrounds, because I know we just did that 2 weeks ago or last week. So keep that attention going for them. You know, they deserve every opportunity that everybody else does too.
Thank you, Mr. Cottrell. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, did you want those projects listed or?
I think it can be just the total amount.
Okay. Mr. President, I move that the board approves the superintendent's recommendation for the use of capital project funds in the amount of $391,606 for facility-related projects.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your hand. And it passes unanimous. And then the final item.
Yes, thank you. So the last item I have is just to consider approval of an ILA Choice Partners contract for the Bay Elementary School vestibule project. And that is for the amount of $970,580 to a job order contract, Generosity Services Incorporated, to complete this work. And as I said earlier, we are set to start immediately on school that's out, and we will have this project completed before kids are back in school.
Thank you, Mr. Aragon. Any other questions or comments from the board?
I do have one question.
Let's check.
So does that leave where are we with the other campuses without a secure vestibule?
There are none. This is the last one that we had that did not have a secure vestibule.
So is Seabrooks considered secure?
It is. It has the door locks and the ability to come in. Bay Elementary is unique in that there's cross traffic between students and visitors. So generally you have to escort them through there. So it's not quite
Thank you, Ms. Cheka. Any other questions or comments from the board? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President.
Mr. Cunningham.
I move that the board approves an ILA Choice Partners contract in the amount of $970,580 to Generosity Services, Inc. for the Bay Elementary School Secure Vestibule Project.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you raise your hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Miller. Thanks, Mr. Aragon. And with no further business for the board, we will adjourn at 8:11.